Last night I picked up a piece of the puzzle to my display case for this year at our Lakeside Gem and Mineral Club show. Got to put it in a display case, and I'm going to do something with this map, which might look familiar to some people. I'm currently running an audit of the Lakeside Gem and Mineral Club lending library, and as such I have a lot of maps and books and other things that are over there that I've been sorting out, and I wanted to do something by highlighting the geology of Washington State, since I need to fill a lot of space in the display case. And if you recall from my video about sort of printing and coloring in your own geologic maps, and I did that with some smaller scale maps of Washington State, and I decided to spring for the color version, which this was about less than $7. It was like $6.70 something with tax. This is a color version of the geologic map of Washington State from 2005, available for free from the Department of Natural Resources. And I printed it at Office Depot using their blueprint style printing service, which this is a 2x3 piece of paper. The quality is really good. If we can zoom in, and you can still read Union Gap there, Yakima. All the little words are very legible, which is really nice. Good for it's. You need that for a blueprint, I suppose. You don't want to print a photo at the blueprint with the blueprints, but this is kind of like a blueprint of the state. And it just so happens that I have a old corkboard. Well, not an old corkboard. This is a corkboard that we bought and haven't used yet, but it just so happens to be 2 foot by 3 foot. Which, this goes over the edge just a little bit, but that'll be okay. So I'm thinking I'm going to tack this onto there, and the display cases are 4 foot by 4 by 2, and then they're, I think, 3 feet tall, something like that. Maybe it's 4 by 4 by 2. They're pretty big. And so this may be a little bit big to go lengthwise, but I'm going to have it tilted up like this so that it's more legible for people that are coming by to view it. And what I wanted to do was put some things that are found in the state at the locations where they're found. So we have our gravel along the Columbia River here where there's agates. I think the agate that I found, it's not an agate, it's a piece of chalcedony that I found along the river. I can put that here with a little label that says like Fur Road Conglomerate, something like that. And I have definitely around here somewhere, dump it in here. Yes, with my shoes. So I've got some Wild Turkey Mine Noble Serpentine that I haven't really done anything with in a long time, but I've got a finished cab or 2 of that material upstairs on display in our little mini rock collection in the office. So I'll do things like that and put a couple of areas of interest around the state. And what I really wanted to do was to include a bunch of Oregon and a little bit of Idaho, but because this is 2 days before I have to have this ready, and tomorrow we're going to be doing loadout and setup at the club, I don't really have time to work on it then, so I got to do everything today, pretty much in the next couple hours. Make little labels for it, find a couple of example pieces from, maybe I'll have some basalt to put around. I do have some pepperite from near the Frenchman Coulee area. And Noble Serpentine, the chalcedony. There's not really much else around our area, but I wanted to include some of the other areas so I could do like star garnet from over in Idaho near Clarkia, and definitely like sunstones from down in southern Oregon or middle Oregon for one of the claims. And now the first step is always to find rocks, and these are some augite from the Tillamook area that I collected and made a video on a while ago. And part of the reason I wanted to make the star garnets part of the display was, I've got a lot of them here, and the few that I've polished up, you can see a faint cab because the light isn't that great in here, but you can see the part of the star going across the stone there. But these look really nice in a display. I think I have a couple of them that could work. So I may just kind of tack them on and on the margin of the poster. But I've got to find a couple of other interesting things, like this is the pepperite from the Frenchman Coulee area. I have a lot of Saddle Mountain petrified wood. That's some of it, I think. And there may be some more underneath the shoes. That's mostly wild turkey stuff. But, we got some petrified wood from Saddle Mountain. I've got a little bit of obsidian from Oregon, which, more Oregon than I can include. There's a nice, fun, yellowy green piece of noble serpentine. I'm going to raid our little rock display collection here. There's a couple of pieces of Larimar to work. Those aren't from around here. And these are all worked cabs of the noble serpentine that I've done. These are actually, one of these was actually the first cab I ever made. It might have been this one. I don't remember anymore. But we'll toss that one in the pile. Morgan found a really nice limb cast that I want to find. It might be downstairs somewhere. I remembered it was on a little display plate that my neighbors actually make. They make these sort of glass-based display things, which I put some random things on, bits and bobs. Those are, I think, quartz or zircon grains from Montana. And then a couple of stickers that I still have to do something with at some point. But this is a nice little limb cast that my wife found while we were up there. So that's going to go in there. Thanks, Morgan. There's a couple of little Natchez Thunder eggs that Jared gave me. I cut up a couple of those. Those are fun. Those are the first things that I cut on the saw that I bought from him. And I found the agate in my box of miscellaneous stuff. I recently cleared off the work table of a lot of things that I can't facet. So there's turquoise, and I won that at the club recently. And there's just this giant chunk of rutilated quartz that do something with eventually. But these are a lot of kind of odds and ends of things that I can't facet, and I just didn't have the time to work. So they went out to the garage to make space for more facet rough. But there's our iron-stained Columbia Basin chalcedony. It's not a lot of stuff. And, I had this dilemma when I was thinking of it. I don't have anything from, west of the Cascades. Can't collect a whole lot of things in the Cascades, all the national forests and things. Some of you may remember a while ago I critiqued my brother-in-law's childhood rock collection and gave it was a passing grade. But in looking for things, he had a few materials from around the state, lots of labels in this box, and there's things like metamorphic soapstone from Blewett Pass. And I've been digging around trying to find something reasonably interesting to show, and the soapstone is kind of neat because, it's really soft. And so I put it up. I'm going to put it near where Jared's video has soapstone, near Lake Wenatchee in this general area. You can't read it from where you are. And I also, from around the Lake Chelan area, there's some mica schist and lots of other rocks, but that's kind of what it looks like. And those get lost for sure behind in front of all the colors of the map. So I think I have to decide, do I just put the map up by itself and have like a number 1, and then have a number 1 near the agate over here, down kind of on the bottom in the front row of the display case. So that's what the main display will look like. A few numbers on a giant map. This way, at least, people can come over and look at the geology of Washington and maybe get some ideas for elsewhere to go. Or just look and say like, hey, my house is on basalt. Oh, my house is on basalt too. Rearranged the numbers a little bit on the map, but I made some labels that I'm going to cut out and paste onto some, this is actually matting board, but I just had it laying around, so give it a little beefiness, and then maybe I can prop it up a little bit, and we'll wrap this up pretty quick. It's not much, but it's something.